Welcome into episode 3 of season 2 of the Holton Show. Hope you enjoy the show. If not, as always,
Holton Ahlers turns, and Holton will take off and run himself. He's at the 40-yard line. Holton Ahlers to the 30. Look at him go! 20, 10, 5, touchdown Pirates!
There's local politics, bud.
It's showtime!
ladies, gents, grandmas, grandpas, if you're joining, welcome to the show. Caden, let's go, man.
We're back. I'm fired up wearing my female East Carolina hoodie.
You are. That almost got us jumped in Vegas. Good time. If you listened to last episode, that was why. Got some big news. We're going to start it here. If you tell I'm wearing a shirt, I will be going back to the UFL to join the Arlington Renegades for the Spring League this year. So it's kind of already out there in the Twitterverse. I've already signed, but a lot of ECU fans, a lot of podcast fans already didn't know. So, Caden, I'll be returning.
That's good. Or you you feel better about this year or compared to last year? Or where your mind
Wait, hold on, man. Holton Ahlers, man. You got to be kidding me, man. What, the lefty from East Carolina, man? 13,927 yards passing, 97 touchdowns. Man, you got me feeling nicey, man.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Gruden. How are you?
No problem, man. Hey, it's all the honors on me, man. I appreciate you, man. Hey, didn't I meet you in Knoxville one time,
You
man?
did on my recruiting visit.
Man, what happened? Why'd you not go to Tennessee, man? You went to East Carolina, man.
I did. I went to East Carolina.
You could have been a Vol, man.
I could have been.
But you put the dog in the pound for the sword, I guess, man.
Welcome to the show, Chandler Honeycutt.
What's up,
Welcome
man?
to the show.
What's up?
I mean, Caden, that is electric.
Dude, I'm nervous. I usually do it anytime I want to on Pirate Radio Live, but
This podcast too is a little different.
It's my first appearance. When y'all asked me to be on the show, it's funny because I told Grace, shout out Grace, by the way.
Shout out Grace.
I did say, it wasn't probably less than a week ago. I was like, maybe y'all came in here to record. I was like, man, I kind of want to be on the podcast.
Let's go. Well, welcome. So Chandler is guest co-hosting with the boys. So we have Trayvon Brown was going to come on. Something came up and he didn't join when he was supposed to or when we planned on it. So we have Chandler guest co-hosting, and then we also have Warren Saba joining on the other side of the break. But just wanted to have guest co-host talk a little ball, talk ECU and all that, Chandler. So yeah, boys, we're here. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Chandler, that was one of the most impressive John Gruden voices.
Are you being serious? Or are you just saying that?
That was amazing. I was over here dying laughing.
I appreciate it.
And shout out to Grace. If she did what we planned, she didn't have you up there for the first 30 seconds, so they maybe thought it actually was Mr.
Maybe they
Gruden.
did. I don't know, but I've gotten into the impressions game over the years.
Yeah.
I remember when it first started, I actually was home at my parents' house for COVID, and I was home for 2 weeks, and I watched what used to be, or it's still the Jim Rome show. It used to be on Pirate Radio, but it's not anymore. But I remember sitting there watching Rome, and I got bored. I had COVID, and so I would practice doing Jim Rome's voice, and I brought it back here, and Clip was like, "Dude, that's actually pretty good." So
He's in it now.
Yeah. So now I've added some, and I'm not good. I'm not a Frank Caliendo who sounds just like these people.
Yeah.
I feel like I sound a little bit enough where it's entertaining.
Let's go.
But
But back to, so that was the plan, the whole intro was to get Gruden to jump in, but I am going to the UFL, boys.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm pumped. And Kane, what was the question you were asking?
Yeah, I was saying last year you didn't play much. This year you're going in with a different mindset, or you feeling you get a better opportunity this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're comfortable anytime going into year 2 of something. The people are really, really good there. Luis, the starter who started last year, he's had a really good spring career. He's returning. He's one of my good buddies. I'm just going to go light it up and throw it the best I have. Just go light it up during camp. And we have a little bit of a quarterback room. Lindsey Scott, the guy that they used last year, one of my really good friends, he's not returning. He's actually the quarterback's coach at Texas Tech now. So
Wow.
Yeah, but I feel good about it, man.
I'm sorry. I was going to ask you, what did you learn from year 1 that you're going to try to get better at in year 2?
Yeah,
and
I
maybe
think,
try to get that starting job.
Yeah, for one, just not worrying about anything, but just going to play stress free. Pro ball is so easy to get tense at that. To think man, could I get cut? There's money involved now, which I guess with NIL and stuff, but NIL, you're not getting cut. You know what I mean? You sign the contract, you're getting it. Whereas pro ball, if you don't produce even on the practice field, you're cut, and that's how it is. So I think I'd say it's my rookie UFL year kind of merged with my rookie NFL years. I had a lot of emotions from the NFL, thought I could have been in it. And then the UFL was like, no, I'm still going to get a chance at the NFL. And then I just fell back on the UFL. Whereas this year I'm like, wow, UFL is actually a really, really good league. And I'm excited to like go and be around the people. It's my first time since ECU that I've returned to the same team I've been on, like obviously. So I'm really pumped about it.
When you think about, for the like average fan, you think of the NFL, obviously the best of the best. College football, you think of the best of the best. You think of the UFL or XFL, whatever it used to be. And you're like, kind of like a minor league system. How do you compare all three of them? And like at college, for example, for us, like college is work. You're working 60-hour weeks. NFL probably, I don't know. What's the difference there?
So college, you have way more free time. Like you are working, but you have other like things going on. Like you have school, you have just friends. Like you have, I mean, it's just college. You have parties and stuff. Whereas pro ball, is like it's your job. So like you in NFL, I'll start with NFL. NFL is these guys are so famous they can't leave the facility without security. 80% of them. And even if like even me, like if I went with other guys, like that, like I would be around security because like we couldn't, like Pete Carroll one time rented out like a floor of Top Golf and they had to have like the whole SWAT team out there because there was fans just lined up. As soon as word gets out, it's crazy. Like that's just how it is. And then like if you go to restaurants, like you got to rent out the whole restaurant with some of these bigger name guys, like if Gino or Drew or someone went out. And then the UFL is more, and sorry, NFL is just so much money, like so much money. It's insane. There's guys making $1 million a week in the NFL. Every Tuesday, $1 million hits their bank account. So like, I'll give you a story. So like NFL, you have to lift, I mean, just like normal football, you have to lift every like Tuesday or Thursday or whatever. Like there would be guys that would walk in and be like, because you can't get in trouble. They can't make you run sprints if you miss things. So he'd be like, how much? You just get fined. That's how it is in the NFL. So like if you miss a lift, you miss a practice, you just get fined. So like there'd be vets walking and be like, hey, how much is it if I miss this lift? And they'd be like 10K. Just be like, all right, just take it out my next paycheck and walk out. So that's like the difference there. And then the UFL is like, honestly, I really highly suggest fans to watch it because it's the most, I say, a more pure form of football than college football now because everyone makes the same amount of money for the most part. Quarterbacks make a little bit more. Like whether you're starter or not, like there's the coaches, everyone there loves the game and still has a dream. Whereas like in college nowadays, it's like you're at one school, then another school, then another school, then another school, then another school, and there's money involved. Whereas this, everyone's just itching for a chance and they love the game.
I've never heard anyone say that before, but now you put it that way, it's more pure than college football is.
Spring football, and now like the fan base is obviously college football. There's more like, I'm when I say pure, I just mean like
they love the game.
Guys that like there's guys, and I'm not saying people don't love it in college and the NFL. That's not true. That's very false. Actually, people love it a ton, but just players like going out there and like just being happy to just like be on the field. It's like that's the league. That's from my experience. That league is the most pure league I've been a part of.
I think
because you're living to see another day in football,
and people realize like I could be working a desk job, but instead I'm 27 years old playing football for a living.
And you still have that hope. I guess, of trying to make it to the NFL.
Yeah, I think there was a stat that, like, and don't quote me on this, but it was like 70% of starters in the UFL at least got a camp invite, which is that's perfect. That's great. Yeah. And if you go to the game, which I'm trying to get the boys to a game next year, Chandler, we were talking about this.
Please.
It's like they run it like an event. Like if you ever go to like a WWE event or something where like there's just always entertainment, that's how UFL games are. They're very, very fun. The fans hammered drunk, like shirts off, just going crazy because those fans are the same fans for the most part, and no knock on them, but like a lot of these fans are the fans that have season tickets to this, can't afford a Cowboys season ticket. So they get season tickets to this, get front row, get to interact with the players, and then it's like, holy cow, this is awesome.
So it's a pretty good production environment for a game day.
It's great. I mean, I really like it.
I was going to ask about the fan support because I feel like, what was it, the XFL?
Yeah.
That folded so quick.
Yeah.
And then there was the AAF.
AAF, yeah. That was real short.
That's the one that folded so quick.
Yes, that was
and
a really
they just
quick
didn't
one.
get any fan support. Like I remember watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Like nobody's showing up to the games. Like this is how they got to make their money.
Was that the arena one?
No, it was like a spring league. It was a quick spring
Which one
league.
was Johnny Manziel smoking a blunt? In
The arena controlled league or fan
yeah,
controlled league.
I remember that was hilarious. Is there that in the?
Nah.
Okay,
But I was going to ask you about the UFL and their fan base, and I kind of remember watching some of y'all's games last year and thinking, man, they got a pretty good crowd there. But you kind of answered it there. But the fan base, you guys get a lot of great support there.
We do, yeah. I mean, like Arlington, we play in a big stadium. We don't pack it out or anything, but like, I mean, there's 10,000 plus fans at a game, which is pretty good for a spring league like that. I think this year we'll probably have a little bit more because it's year 2. But like we would go play in St. Louis in the Dome where the Rams used to play, and I was telling Caden like it would be sold out. So like they sell it out. Houston has really good fans. I'm trying to think else. San Antonio in the Dome there gets a really good crowd. The same dome that UTSA played, the Alamo Dome. I'm trying to think who else has really good.
Who
fans.
has the worst fans?
Like
the worst
fans.
When you say worst, do you mean like obnoxious?
No,
or like,
no.
You mean the least
Like,
amount of
least
support?
amount of people.
Yeah, support wise.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Name the teams off now. I'm just like,
Wow, you got the wrong two guys in the teams.
I would think who? No, Birmingham has a good crowd because they've won 2 in a row. Memphis, Memphis is by far the worst. They don't get a good.
They
turnout.
play in the University Stadium, right?
Yes.
So that looks like
I
massive.
think they get I think it's just that stadium fits 65,000 and there's not that many fans there, obviously. But St. Louis is a sweet place to play, and it's historic.
They
It's the
miss
greatest show on
football.
turf. They do.
They miss
And
football there.
I'm telling you, it gave me chills because like, Caden, like playing in a big game or something like that, like when you're staying in the hotel, like there's cops around to make sure you're good, but you can see fans of other teams like coming in all weekend. The weekend before and the day of the game, like their fans are everywhere in the city, dude. It's awesome.
Wow.
So if any spring league, if you want to go to a game, come hang out with me in Arlington. But if not, St. Louis.
And let's shout out James Baker, friend of the podcast, and UFL. Is that the right
UFL highlights?
UFL highlights on TikTok. I don't know if anyone's
Instagram.
And Instagram. If TikTok's gone off your phone, check him out on
I think
Instagram.
does he mention you a lot?
Yeah.
He mentions the show on Twitter a lot.
Yeah, he's a big fan of the show.
I've seen him pop up on y'all's. He's a big fan of
He
you
produces a good stuff. He'll come to the games. He has season tickets. He made a shirt last year said free 15 when I wasn't playing. So
I actually want that shirt. That shirt was fire.
It was. Yep. James Baker, he'll listen to this.
All right.
And we'll get on one. But yeah, dude, I'm pumped about it. It should be good. The talent, and I think you asked about the talent level too and stuff like that. I think it's really, really good. Like it's very comparable to very good college teams. Because you got to think these guys are still all pros. Like they're still the best. They're the second, third, and fourth guy of most college teams. Some number 1 guy on college teams. Whereas like the studs obviously go to the NFL.
Yeah.
And there's guys like Marquette King, who was all pro, our punter on the team. Vic Beasley was on our team last year. Like Reuben Foster.
Reuben Foster is who
He's
I was
on my
gonna
team
mention.
this year. He signed with us.
What was that crazy story? We mentioned it like on the second episode, but you had a crazy story about some guy that just showed up.
Oh,
Tell that story again.
Dude,
It's
I
been
can't
too
even-
long.
I can't remember. All I remember his name was James Harden, and he wasn't supposed to be at the tryout, but was at the tryout.
And he just showed up.
Yeah, I can't remember what
He
it
just
was
came off
then.
the street.
Yeah, he woke up and he just said like he had a feeling that today was the day that he was going to get signed by
I
the
want to
UFL.
play football.
And
He's like, he woke up that day and said, I want to play
walked through
football.
past security, acting like he was supposed to be there. And they were having a tryout on at the end of our practice. They asked me to throw to some of the receivers, and he was one of the receivers. And after I was like, dude, you're pretty good. Like, where'd you play on that? He was like, I've never played football. Or he was like, I just train now, and I just had a feeling today that there was a tryout, so I walked out here. And that was it.
James Harden.
James Harden.
I've heard that name before.
Yeah, me too. That sounds
He's
familiar.
a point guard. I hope you're.
I've heard that name.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I
I'm
have
talking
too.
about the James Harden football player.
Does this guy?
No, he did not
Does this
make
guy
it.
have a beard?
Not the point guard.
I think next year, if you have a good year, only if Holton has a good year, I think I'm gonna try out next year.
You should
Come out of the
Talking about
You should be
content.
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, let me come out. I wonder if I
No,
can
they
do it.
have. Funny enough, they have open tryouts where they go to different cities and let guys try out. That'd be great content for the boys.
You can try out too. Long
I'm on long
snapper.
snap.
You long snap, you quarterback. That'd be amazing content. Dead
Actually,
cheers.
screw the quarterbacking. I really don't want to throw the ball again. I'm gonna go as a holder. We're gonna go as a combo.
There you go.
I don't know if they let the specialists come out there.
They're
but
like, you're like, what position? I'm
A holder.
only gonna hold.
That's like going to try out for a band and you're like, I play the triangle.
Caden played that in high school, don't?
Oh, my bad.
Seriously,
I'm sorry.
dude. Come on.
I'm
That's a
sorry.
real.
I'm sorry.
That's a real instrument.
I'm sorry, man.
All right, let's talk a little ECU with you, Chandler. So, bowl game. We had a blast at the bowl game.
Sure did, dude.
And then, obviously, the news coming out of NC State playing East Carolina game 1 on Thursday night, though. Are you going to make it to the game? Will you be there?
I'm going to make it to the game. I don't know if I'll be there as a fan or if I'll be working there as a media member like I was at the bowl game. But I definitely want to try to make it to Raleigh.
Yeah.
That last game was big. I mean, State fans might say it wasn't that big of a game to them, but of course, obviously, to East Carolina fans, it was.
Yeah.
And this is going to be even bigger. So,
How big does the president think that game was?
Man, I tell you what, you think about they're actually calling it the Super Bowl. They call it the Super Bowl, but we actually don't think that. But no.
I think Chandler can do impersonation, so.
But no, I'm excited about that. East Carolina fans are excited about it. And what a better way to start the season off than on a Thursday night, prime time.
Yeah, let's go. State, weirdly enough, has last couple of years played the Thursday night of week 1. So I'm pretty pumped about that. I hope ECU fans travel.
They're going to.
They should, but Thursday night makes it harder to travel. That's the only thing.
So I know we're recording this on Tuesday. We just had Bryce Williams on the show on Pirate Radio Live, and I was there at the game in 2013.
Yeah.
Bryce Williams, shout out Bryce. He scored a touchdown in that game. But I remember being at that stadium, and if you closed your eyes there for that 1 second, you would have thought you were in Dowdy Fickle Stadium. Just how loud it was. The purple gold chants. When it's third down, the crowd's getting loud.
Yeah.
We absolutely took over that stadium that day. And that was Dave Dorn's first year at NC State. I do remember that. Obviously, it's going to be a different story come this August. But I hope that you mentioned. I hope Pirate Nation travels.
Yeah,
I really do hope so too, and I think they will because
I think they will.
I mean, especially with the excitement coming off the Military Bowl.
Absolutely,
game.
There's definitely excitement there. My worry was, and Caden, you can kind of tell me what you think about it. It's people were it's just hard because you probably got to take off that Friday, and then if you want to get up in time, at least to tailgate a little bit that Thursday too. But I mean, people will make it.
It's 70 miles down the road. I go and visit my parents all the time, 70 miles down the road. It's Thursday night to start college football season.
You gotta be there.
I think Pirate Nation's going to be there. I'm going to call a Pirate guy out for a second. Coach Hudson, Greg Hudson, was on the Pirate Radio Live the other day. You know what he had the audacity to say? Coach, I'm calling you out. I'm going to say it. He said the Annapolis game, because it wasn't sold out, it's not a rivalry.
What?
That's what he said. Were you
What a
there for
take.
that?
No.
And I could imagine an ECU guy not calling that a rivalry because
That's definitely a rivalry.
because we didn't sell out the stadium in Annapolis.
State definitely didn't. Bring
That's a
enough
hard
fans on
take
that.
by Coach Hud.
Yeah, I couldn't believe Coach had said that, but he said it's only a rivalry if you sell the game out.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
I don't think
I
a
don't think so.
sellout has.
I'd say Coach Hud. It's December 27th in Maryland.
Now, game 1, if it's not sold out, then yeah.
Now I take it more
State
as a
fans
rivalry.
don't care; they don't show up at all.
Yeah.
I take it more as a rivalry about what happened on the field that day.
Yes. I love that. We love that.
The scrappiness.
Twitter.
The 10-minute delay of trying to figure out who punched who.
Yeah.
Who gets ejected.
Yeah. The Twitter fan base or ex fan base was not there was a lot of people not happy about that. I loved it. Bring back the rivalry. Make it. State was all saying they didn't care about it beforehand. Well, at the end of the game when they were fighting, they seemed like they cared. So I loved it.
I want a little Ohio State Michigan 2.0.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, now people are probably going to hate because we never beat them. I never beat them. And you have the right to because I never did. But I wish we did. We had them my last year, but I'm happy now to see the tide has somewhat turned. It's always been the ECU coaches on the hot seat. The state coach, Dorn's going to win 9-10 games. You flip it around now. All these ECU fans are excited about our coach, about our program, and the state fans are not happy at all.
I agree. I think, like I said in the beginning of the year, or not the beginning of the year, it was some point midway through. I was like, if we play state in a bowl and somehow we win 8 games and we knock them to 6-6 or 6-7, like that's a successful year. So I agree 100%. Chan, what do you think?
Just about you guys not being able to beat them.
Oh, that's not big.
Yeah.
Actually, you're right. We never beat state, but I have a special state memory.
Caden, so tell it. I don't know if our fans know this.
So the longest game I ever played at East Carolina
Was versus-
was NC State because the quarterback room had an injury plague. And the state fans, like I was signaling the first half of the game, and the student section was right behind us, and they freaking loved it, and they were chanting my name, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
As a redshirt freshman.
Yeah.
And then I get to go in the game. I didn't play that. I didn't throw the ball. I threw the ball twice, but a lot of handoffs, a couple runs.
Did you know that?
Wait,
Chandler?
you might have just mentioned this. Was it the game that was added on at the end of the year?
Yes.
Yeah, it was the game that was added on.
Did you know?
And
Did you know that he was the guy that played the second half? He
I was
a
at the
quarterback.
game. So yeah,
Yeah,
now,
I was the
now
guy.
I remember number 14
I
the
was the
second
guy that played
half, and I was
second
like,
half.
"This guy stinks." I was like,
He did. He
No,
did
I
stink.
didn't.
He did stink.
No.
But the coolest memory is ECU. We used to hold like the longest record for not being shut out.
Yes, and I remember this. Oh, are you about to tell this
Let
story?
me tell the story.
All right, you go ahead. Go ahead.
well,
You played in the game.
What are we down? 59-0, 53-0?
50-0.
Yeah, something like that. And we get that last drive to go kick a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
I had the honor of handing the ball off about 6 times that drive.
Nice, man.
Kept it alive.
That's great, man. I tell you what, man. That's awesome stuff, man.
Thanks, coach.
But I do remember leaving the stadium and thinking to myself, man, one, we got our tails whooped in
We
this
did.
game.
I didn't play that game. I was hurt.
You were hurt.
Which I might probably we were so bad it probably wouldn't have helped.
And like
but-
the season was over.
Yeah,
I mean,
we fired Coach Mo.
Fired
Blackwell.
Coach Mo. Coach Blackwell was the interim
Yeah.
that day, so it was kind of like a whatever. But like, we didn't have to get beat this bad. Leaving the stadium, I hear like a faint like roar, and then I look at the score and I said, "Well." I said, the streak is alive. Jake Verdi hit a long field
50
goal.
plus?
Yeah.
I remember a
plus.
long field goal.
In the rain.
At the buzzer.
Yeah.
At the horn.
And Dorn tried to ice him. He tried to ice him.
So,
So
did me and Holton ever beat State? No, but we kept a very long streak
That's you.
alive.
That's all you, brother.
Yeah, dude.
That's all you.
And y'all played them. Were you on the team in 22?
No, 20 was my last year.
Yeah. And then 19, y'all opened the season there.
Yeah, we still weren't very good then, though. We were still,
Yeah.
but
That
we still,
first year-
Holton had a fumble.
I did have
On
fumble.
the opening
And
drive.
I
I remember
honest-
it like it was yesterday, man.
man.
Me too.
I remember
Me too,
yelling at my
Chandler.
TV.
Me too, man.
I remember
You-
yelling at my TV, man.
I didn't call that fumble out to make funny. I just remember I always think about like the state games. That was the one vivid memory. I was cheering and the ball went flying. I'm sorry.
I remember. So you started second half of the previous year.
Yeah.
This was like your full season
Yeah.
being the start. I'm like, yeah. And CJ Johnson's first year.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there. I went home that weekend and I watched it with my dad, graduate of '91 from ECU. We're watching the game and I'm like, there's like a couple on that first drive. You and CJ are
Yeah, we were
connecting.
clicking.
You and CJ were cooking. I said, "Oh my god, that Conley connection, baby! It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sick." Which it ended up being. But then all of a sudden, I'm like, Holton,
Fumbled.
get it in the end zone, and right
Fumbled.
before, and I was
I tell you.
threw my hat. I think,
Yeah, you
maybe
should've.
cussed in
You
front of my
should've.
parents for the first time, all because of Holton Nailers.
Sorry, man. I let
Yeah.
you down. I let myself down.
Nah, you're
I
good,
will
man.
tell you, fumbling might be a worse feeling than throwing an interception.
Okay, explain.
I think fumbling's just all about just like willpower and like muscles and heart.
Yeah.
Whereas like throwing an interception could be like, oh, he ran wrong route. Oh, it was a good defensive play. Like they confused me. There was a blitz. Had to get rid of it quick.
There could be several reasons
Yes.
why.
Fumble's just like you're soft.
You
Getting hold on to the
feel
ball.
you feel hopeless when you see the ball rolling away from you.
Oh, dudes, and you're bottom of a dog pile, and there's dudes poking your eyes, spitting on you, grabbing your gonads. It's
Wow,
just
wow.
not.
Really?
yeah.
I never had
oh,
that.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Jealous.
That's. But no, it's funny that you say there's no worse feeling than like seeing the ball like being fumbled and rolling away from you. Anytime I watch a football game, it could be the quarterback getting hit, it could be the ball carrier getting the ball. But what I do is when they show that replay and they show it in slow motion, what I think, I'm like, what if I'm just putting myself in the mind of like, let's say Bryce Young, like what's going through his mind as that ball is just rolling away from him, like
Not good.
"Rah!"
Not good. Now,
you
like
know,
fumbling, like if you're not looking and you get hit from behind, like in the pocket's different. But when you're running in the ball fumbles, bad feeling. Real bad feeling.
Man.
That play, 13 Express, should have been a touchdown. But I didn't hold on to. I will tell you.
What, did Donnie say anything to you? after that.
Caden probably remembers more than me. I was probably so mad.
No, not that game.
That game, he was probably like, all right, we're good. Like, that was the first game we were together.
That game was brutally hot, is what I remember.
Dude, I remember getting back to our house after, and you had them real bad tan lines.
So I had like 4 wristbands on,
Yeah.
2 on each arm, and I get back, my whole body's red and it's pitch white where the wristbands were. It's a pretty sick picture.
Man.
Also, my sickest Instagram picture came from that game. Just a shout out.
So y'all got beat that bad that your skin started turning red and white.
Yeah.
That's
well, I
crazy.
didn't wear sunburn. I should have. It was like 100 some
You wear
degrees.
sunburn?
Come on, man.
I know.
And I remember a cool story moment. What's up, Warren? Warren just joined, boys. All right, so Warren Saba's right here. Here, get set up if you want to. You gonna get set up? We'll keep talking for a sec.
Cool.
Just mute yourself, Warren, while we keep talking. But I remember fun stories like dude, that team was young because it was like me. I was a sophomore. Blake Prolton was a sophomore. Sneed was a sophomore. No, Sneed was technically a freshman again, a redshirt freshman. We had CJ Johnson, who was young. We were really young on that team. And I remember standing on the sideline like with Blake and Sneed. I think it was Blake and Sneed. Or maybe just Blake, one of the two. I remember me and Blake having the conversation. We were like, we were getting killed at that point. It was the fourth quarter. And we like looked around and we were like, dude, we got to get like this changed. Like, we can't keep the program like this anymore. Like, we can't lose because we just lost to them 2 times in a row. And we knew like all of us committed there knowing like it was going to be an uphill journey. But it was like, I just remember that conversation. Like, it was a pretty cool conversation because we were like looking back now, we ended up doing some really cool things. Not as cool as we would have wished, but still got the program back. But like looking back, like we knew nothing. We were young and like we were just like, dude, we can't lose like this.
Well, look at that moment there, and then look at the moment of you guys on stage in Birmingham. You know, lifting the trophy up, the confetti. That's one thing they didn't have in Annapolis.
I was disappointed.
Was the confetti?
There was confetti. Somebody had just mentioned that, but
I was disappointed in that.
But no, just thinking about that, you got to have some pride in having that conversation with those guys, and then maybe not all those guys that you talked to there was on that stage in Birmingham, but it's got to be pretty cool. That you were
really
able
cool
to do that at the end of your career.
Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by Anson Belt. Over 10,000 combinations of micro-adjustable holeless belts. Look, the normal belt, I think it's like 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches apart. These are like, I think, 1/10 of an inch apart. So that way it's a perfect fit every single time. We're big fans of Anson Belt.
Huge fans of Anson Belt. The old way of old belts is out. The new way with Anson is in. Get you a belt that fits all the time with Anson Belt.
Okay, and Anson Belt is kind of like the new crypto of belts. XRP. Follow XRP. Next, I want to give a shout out to Kairos, 2800 East 10th Street. Look, they got float therapy, salt halo therapy, sauna, cold tub. They have everything in between. Make sure you go check those out. Look, if you're about mind, body, and soul, me and Kate have both floated. I've done all this stuff. Look, it's amazing. This is the place you need to go.
It's a fantastic place. Holton's dragged me in there a few times, and every time I've walked in, I felt so much better. Go to Kairos, float, and wellness.
Next, I want to give a shout out to our final and third sponsor, Roof Solutions. Look, roofs done right, roof repairs, roof replacement, gutters, siding, exterior installation, storm restoration. They're Google guaranteed, and ECU Pirate Club member as well. Make sure you go shout out those guys if you need any roofing help. What you got, Caden?
I think the last part hit home with a home run. If you need a roof repair, do it with a Pirate Club member.
Appreciate you guys for supporting.
And now, Warren Saba, one of my favorite teammates all time at ECU, one of the funniest guys, but he lock in when it was always time to lock in at Lake Erie College, DB coach now. DB coach, am I right there?
Yep.
What's up, Warren?
What's good? Thanks for having me, y'all.
Let's go, man. Yeah, so I FaceTime you and I asked, let's see the cut, Warren. Take off the toboggan, man. You were I FaceTime you were getting a barbershop. Oh gosh. Yeah, put it back on, bro. Put it back on. So what you been up to, dude? Let's catch up a little bit, let the fans know what you're doing, and then we'll get into some stories.
Man, I'm coaching now at a school. I'm back in Cleveland, coaching at a D2 school, Lake Erie College. I'm having fun. It's been an experience. I'm learning. I'm growing, and I'm impacted, which I'm happy with.
When you were playing in, I want to get your opinion on. You talk about your spring ball experience a little bit, and then we'll talk about ECU and stuff. Is like when you were playing though, did you always know you wanted to get into coaching, or is it something like when you finish playing, you're like, what else am I going to do other than stick around the game?
When I first got to my JUCO, I was always intrigued with our strength coach, so I kind of had an idea. Um, but once I got to ECU, I really had no idea. It was just just sitting at home after being done playing, trying to figure things out. I missed it a lot. I tried to train, I didn't like it, so I gave coaching a shot.
I love it. Kane, what do you have?
When you're coaching now, do you see a lot of your players now like an older version of yourself, or
I
like
see
you're
a,
like
I see a younger version of myself.
Younger.
yeah, younger? Oh my god, yeah, a younger version of yourself.
Yeah, no, I got a room for the 2013 freshman. So I
Dang.
definitely, I definitely see a younger version of myself, and I see why coaches were on my ass. I'm allowed to cuss on here, my bad.
Yeah, you're
Nah.
good, man.
It's podcast one. We're good. You talk about JUCO ball. I know there's some crazy stories about that. Like you went. Where did you go? You went to Garden City, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Talk about that a little bit because I know there's some wild stories there.
Um, shoot, when I committed, I thought I was gonna show up to like a regular college program, 30, 40 guys in a class, you know how it goes. But when I showed up, there was 200 people there.
Dang.
Yeah, 200 people. First
The
day of
heck?
summer workouts. It was basically tryouts. And shoot, you got to make it through the workouts to last. Fall in line with the culture, and do what you're supposed to do, and you would make it. I think my first day, my first workout, we did 8 220s, uh, 8 220s, like 10 110s, and 15 50s. I was through.
Bruh.
How much is JUCO like Last Chance U on Netflix?
Shoot, I think they show everything. It's real. I don't think it's fake. Especially just showing independence. He used to coach at Garden City, and our head coach was the same way. So everything they showed was real from my experience.
So it was real because and you played that team, right? The Last Chance U team. Didn't you play them?
Yeah. Yep. Played
Let's
them
go.
my
And then
redshirt freshman.
and then going from JUCO to ECU, like what was the difference there in like culture and just playing style, playing speed? Like just what was the difference in all that?
Um, hmm. Well, I would just say the tempo of how we practice and the way we practice. To be honest, I have really good coaches who are all coaching bigger places now, so they kind of got me prepared for what ECU had to offer. I would just say just the tempo and when me coming in, I had Coach Lynch, so he's detail oriented to the fullest. So um, that was the thing to get adjusted to.
Yeah, and I definitely understand that. And then Coach Lynch has really worked his way up, and you played with a lot of DBs that. Did you play with Siobhan Ravel, or did you only play with
Uh,
Jaquan?
I only played with Quan.
So Jaquan, he was kind of under you. I mean, he was a couple years younger than you. So you were an upperclassman to him. Like seeing him in the NFL now, like, is that something you saw early on? I certainly did. I mean, going against him every day, but like, is that something you kind of knew early on? Like, this guy has a chance to be really, really good.
I would say when I knew Quan was going to be good is that it was maybe the first play when we played Cincinnati at the house. DC tipped the ball and he came and picked it off. I'm like, yeah, he's going to be the truth.
Yeah, no, 100%. Kane, what do you have?
Go into spring ball. We got
Spring league.
the spring league and the UFL. What was that like compared to college, in your opinion? We and Holton talked about this earlier in the show, but I'm just curious what you thought that was like compared to like college going to spring ball.
Shoot. I think it was more relaxed. I think
Yeah.
it was with the sense at ECU. But everybody on the team in college is not there. Some people are there just for the jersey. They have no aspirations of playing in the league or playing pro. So just being around like-minded guys in the building every day that just approach, the game like it's a job, I like that. I think that was the difference for real, for real.
Yeah, I was telling Kaylee, it's like a breath of fresh air because it's like people who are like professionals who want to be there and it's like everyone kind of has a dream or like reasons to be there, and it's like a very appreciative of being there. That's like my experience with it.
Yeah, so that was kind of like it kind of felt like back at Juco, just a bunch of guys that want to get out of Garden City,
Yep.
And doing whatever it takes. So it was cool to just be around that again for real, for real.
Yeah, 100%. And then seeing, you played for Coach Harrell. How him being a head coach now, you played for him as defense coordinator. Like, how is him being a head coach now, like in your eyes? Like, do you think he's the right fit? I don't know if anyone has said no yet, but like, how do you think he'll do as a head coach?
I think he's gonna do good, man. Shit, he was solid as a DC. I remember numerous games. I catch him after the game, like, man, coach, you called the shit out of that game, like. So you was on point, like, for real. I think he's gonna do good, man. I think it was a good hire. Youthful energy, and shoot, he strives for greatness and nothing less. So I think he's a
100%.
good hire. The guys he have, on the staff, I think are good hires too. Like he put a good thing together, man. I can't wait to see how they do.
Going back to your coaching, Warren, I'm curious. What's the hardest thing as a coach? Is it recruiting? Is it just locking your guys down like for practice?
Man, the hardest thing about coaching, I would say it's the nothing. It's managing off the field, making sure they're at class, making sure their paperwork's in, physicals and compliance stuff. I think that's the most challenging thing, to be honest.
I can see that.
Coaching is easy. Um, coaching is easy for real. You just got to figure out how the guys learn. Once you figure out how they learn, you get the most out of them. And me, I'm young. I have passion for the game still. I still love it.
Yeah.
To the depth. So I give them my all. So they have nothing else, no other choice but to give me their all too. So
Is there a scenario where you want to end up back at ECU coaching?
yeah, of course.
Let's go. Let's go. Have to talk to Coach Harrell about it. We need to get him back.
What's your favorite Warren memory?
Dude, I don't know.
You told
Warren
one that's
probably-
hilarious
I do?
about Warren's senior day. The last speech he
Oh,
had.
bruh. Yes, Warren. You remember when you went up on senior day and I guess it was like the day before senior day and you went up there. It was like if we won, we were going to the Military Bowl. And if we lost, we were going to the Hawaii Bowl. And you walked up there and you're like, look, I ain't telling us we got to lose. But if we lose, we're going to Hawaii. And if we win, we're going to D.C. Dude, I tell that story all the time. And I think I'll remember that story forever. I don't know why it didn't pop in my mind first. I just totally forgot it was Warren who said it. But do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
I was about to say, just come off the top and just completely forget about it. He's like, no, I never said that.
That's funny. I did forget about it until now. I remember it fully. I think I went every day, 7 days straight screaming Hawaii Bowl.
You did. Because no, it was the Boston. It was we were like we were going to Boston.
Yeah, Fenway, no, it was no way we wanted to be in Boston for a bowl game.
Dude,
Like,
Boston would have
let's
been
just
fun.
do it.
Boston's cool,
No,
but Hawaii would have been cool.
cool, but man, come on, bowl games are for sunny weather and great football, not
Agreed.
Up next to some heaters.
Agreed. All right, before we let you go, where do you want the ECU football program to go? Like, what do you want to see from them this next year? They got a hard schedule. They've went 8-5. I feel like we finally got them out of the dog days. They finally got out of the dog days the program has, and like now it's time to either take the next step, or do you expect another like 8-5 year where it's like a good year but not an amazing year? Like, what do you expect kind of this next year, the first full year of the Blake Harrell era?
Shoot, I want them, to win the state, not a state championship, my bad, a conference championship, dog. Like we all, think that we're there, so we gotta just cross over that bridge, man. I think it's time to get it done. I think the guys that are there, they can get it done. The pieces that they brought back, guys that we played with, Teagan, Big Zay, those guys know
Yeah.
the expectations and the culture. So hopefully they lead and get it done.
For sure. Appreciate you for joining, dude. We'll we need to get you on in person next time you can, if you can come to a game. I guess whenever you're in town, a spring game or whatever, just let me know. We'll get you
Yeah,
in
I'm gonna
person.
definitely try to come down. Definitely. Yeah, closer to the end of spring. I know we got spring, but I definitely
Yeah.
want to come down and talk ball and learn something so I can bring it up.
Get on the whiteboard too. Talk a little ball on the whiteboard
Yes, sir.
for sure. All right, see you, brother. Appreciate you for joining.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Yeet.
Apologies about all my mess up. All right, I'm not stopping at ads.
Oh, freak! Yeah,
Do this quick.
Anson, Kyrus, and the
you need to stop it though. Just stop it.